Hello and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 37. This minute begins with Carmen looking concerned for the first time pretty much ever, and ends with Rico doing a flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Xander continues his countdown from the last minute. Carmen is looking very concerned, like this may be her first warp, her first jump. And I'm kind of happy that she's uncomfortable. Is that wrong of me?
No.
Okay.
She needs to be uncomfortable every once in a while. I mean, she puts herself in these situations. It's about time she kind of got her due.
I'm just happy that she's out of her element. You know what I mean? Just like, This is a new situation for her. She's uncomfortable. Like, I don't want her to be like in pain or discomfort. I would just want her to have like chapped lips kind of thing. Like, I wish Carmen chapped lips.
Like every time she handles paper, you're like, get a paper cut.
At least one paper cut a week. Yeah. Just like, you've been handling a lot of paper. Oh, one paper cut.
Yeah.
And then then everyone decides, we want to go out for hot wings tonight. Ooh, I can't go.
Yeah, like you want to do the Wheel of Misfortune hot wings with her and hope she gets the hot one, like the super hot one.
No, as I said, I don't want her like in pain, misfortune. I just want her to be mildly uncomfortable.
Nah, I want her to get the hottest wing.
All right, sadomasochist.
If there's anything Carmen deserves, it's at least that.
Okay. But
I mean, I'm not saying I want her to like throw up and poop her pants from like super megaton hotness. I just want her to have the hottest wing.
Sounds like it.
No, I just want her a little bit of the tears, and then she gets the milk, and she's like, "Oh my god, that was horrible." I'll be like,
and then she rubs her eyes.
No, that's bad. That was like real bad.
Okay. All right, I'll stop there. I may be a little harnessing my inner Satan or something like that.
Yeah, you're going into your fantasy here, which is something you're condoning mine.
As I said, chapped lips and paper cut. I'm fine with that. Anyway, so Xander continues his countdown. Ready, steady, go! And then the scene changes a little bit. We get the front of the ship. Actually, we get a screen. And this is it says at the bottom, engaging star drive. On the side of it, it has tachyon capture, field integration, distort, gravitic feedback, and energy levels. They don't actually show anything on those energy levels or anything. There's like a little, like, circle, a spheroid kind of looking like little panel that is just spinning around. But this makes me think that, it is more of a warp, like a warp bubble or a wormhole kind of warp, just because to initiate that kind of stuff in most sci-fi, you need tachyons. Johann, do you know what tachyons are?
Are they things that go in a corkboard?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm on board. Actually, there's a weird thing because with the warp drive, it has like a refraction of light, which is the effect they're going with.
Mm-hmm.
But the monitor screen looks somewhat similar to the trench run in Star Wars.
I was thinking more Tempest.
Not the trench run. The screen with the Imperial starfighters.
Oh, the targeting screen.
Yeah, when it lines up the X-wing, that's what it looks like. But in the script, they did something a little bit different, which was foreshadowing. Right when the space bends, Xander and Carmen look at each other, they smile, and then they blur together, and then when it comes to the point, it looks like it's supposed to, I guess, like look like they become one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's supposed to mimic the screen that Rico drew in that classroom.
Oh, okay.
Instead of her blowing that bubble, instead it's supposed to look like Rico and her. They're looking at each other, but instead it's Xander and her, on that screen.
So that makes me think that in the script they intended it to be, instead of a wormhole, they intended it to be like a collapser kind of warp drive, which is a inert or not very powerful black hole, which you get sucked through a singularity and then pulled out the other end.
Yeah.
So that would mean that the whole entire existence, everything on that ship, is being pulled into a singularity and then unspaghettified after that.
Yeah. But it was to give that effect. Maybe it was unintentional of what he wanted it to do, but I guess it was to obviously foreshadow Xander and Carmen in the later minutes, but it was to recreate that moment in a classroom, except now she shares that moment with Xander instead of Rico.
I kind of like that. That's kind of a nice little thing. Well, not really nice, but
No.
That's kind of a cool thing.
It's a real crap thing where you share a moment that you should have shared with your ex, except you did with another guy.
Well, she shares.
Well, like, think about it this way: you're saying that you have a son.
Yes.
If you have an ex that you're like, I will never have a child, and then she finds out that like later on you have this kid, and you're like, he's the best thing in the world.
I think I was pretty anti-child back in the day, so yeah. I mean, that could have been a thing.
Okay. A little bit different because grown-ups can change that. You say like, I will never, ever step foot up north, and then you see pictures of you in Toronto.
There was pictures of me in Toronto, though.
No, I know, but she's like, let's go to Toronto. Like, I'll pay, and you're like, no, I'll never do that. And then there's like pictures of you in Toronto.
I guess. I mean, what else are you supposed to do when you are literal like microns away from each other, being sucked through a singularity? Your whole entire body is going through a spaghettification, is what it's called. So basically, you're getting pulled through a singularity, which is microscopic. The whole entire ship is turning microscopic. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to have to smile at the guy that you're going to be mere atoms next to.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, well, I'm not sure if there'd be whiplash, but I would assume there would be if you're not looking straight on. It'd be the same if you're testing pilots in G-force training. You don't look left or right. You look straight ahead, because you look left or right, that's where you throw up.
Okay, well, just for reference, spaghettification and going through like a black hole and everything would probably kill you, because the spaghettification basically pulls your atoms apart, and it'd be kind of like pulling you apart. There's no guarantee of being put back together.
Unless you're a devout worshiper of the spaghetti monster, then you're all right.
Well, maybe he just wants you to be with his noodly form as well, too, and he just keeps you that way so you're in constant pain.
So every time you come back, you're actually just with the spaghetti monster.
You increase his pot of noodles.
So perfect.
Yeah. But it actually, honestly, this kind of reminded me of the kind of temporal distortion from Back to the Future, the warp on it, just because it looks a little more like the DeLorean going through time when it does that initial round up to 88 miles per hour kind of thing.
Back in time.
Gotta get back in time.
So now we know, because you were a little bit confused on how the speed works when they're jumping to Jupiter. Now we know they're going 88 miles per hour.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense to me. Anyway, so let me actually get a little bit more to the science of it. So tachyon capture. Tachyons are not the things in corkboards. They are actually theoretical particles that always move faster than light. So this drive itself is capturing these particles to turn them into it's probably the catalyst to create this wormhole from one point to another. I'm really not going to go into anything else more than that besides telling you what tachyons are, because it's all theoretical and I don't have any theories about it. But basically it's one of those things that is in like sci-fi from here to eternity. Star Trek has a lot of it. A couple other
Futurama has it.
Oh, Futurama has a bunch of it.
I love it though, because they keep it constant.
Yeah, they really do. And they also Bubblegum is one of the greatest scientists of the world of the universe as well too.
Bubblegum Tate.
Bubblegum Tate. But yeah, so the scene changes. It's kind of a weird thing too because they actually do that kind of gravimetric distortion as well too. So it kind of looks like everything is folding into the singularity or into this wormhole, which is a kind of a cool, warp thing. But one of my favorite warp transitions. Do you ever remember watching the Wing Commander movie with what's his face?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes, Freddie
and
Prinze.
What's the name of the other guy?
He's in 13 Ghosts as well too.
He's in 13 Ghosts. He's the current voice of Shaggy.
Oh gosh,
Matthew Lillard.
Thank you, Matthew Lillard. Yes. And so that warp thing, they're actually going through a jump, and then they're like, "Oh, you guys are ready?" And Matthew Lillard actually stands up on a table, jumps, and then everything just freezes, like they're just hovering, and it's such a cool thing because I was hoping that warp is going to be like that, where you're going through a singularity, everything slows down for a slight minute, and then it comes back to normal. That's a cool warp, that's a cool warp kind of transition and explanation as well too.
Yeah, it was a good way to explain that everything within the ship warps at the same speed. It's not like a people mover. If you jump, then you'll get slammed into a wall.
Mm-hmm. Or could be. I mean, I'm eventually hoping for something kind of like Portal, or in the more commonly known what is it, Stargate, where you just walk through it.
Yeah,
that'd be easier too. But warp and faster than light travel is still very theoretical. Things are slightly turning a little more, like people are trying to understand like what can go faster than light and everything. Right now, the easiest way to probably do it, which is still really hard and still pretty impossible, is creating a wormhole. But
obviously wormholes are theoretical because it's kind of up in the air of creating one.
Exactly, that's the thing.
It's more like, because I don't know if you watched the Orville.
No, I have not yet.
Okay, because even in that show, even though it's futuristic, they don't necessarily use wormholes. But there's an episode where someone sees a wormhole and learns how to use it. I mean, if I tell you how it was used, it's going to be a spoiler. But
okay.
It's actually a really, really good show. I really love it. But even in that future, it's just theorized that you can use wormholes, but without being able to predict how it works, they don't use it. But then instead, someone is able to use it because they're the ones that figured out how to use it, and then they're able to use it in turn.
Yeah, that makes sense, just because wormholes are very unstable as well too, especially in any other sci-fi universe. Star Trek. I'm just going off of Star Trek because they had a series dedicated right next to a wormhole. So
yeah, but it seems like they appear on their own. It's not controlled.
Exactly. Scene changes, and we see Rico sneaking along sneakily, and a light electric wine turns on, and he turns and fires at another recruit, but it's not using bullets. It's laser tag!
Yeah, which was really big in the 90s. I played laser tag because it was fun, and everybody else did it.
I played laser tag too. There was a local place. It had black lights. It had smoke machines. You put on the helmets. Oh, it was so fun. And
we didn't put on helmets.
Oh, they had helmets on that one.
No, we didn't. If you hurt your head, concussions weren't that big yet.
Well, no. It was the helmets that had like little sensors on them as well too, so you can actually headshot people.
Oh no, yeah, ours didn't. It was just a vest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, laser tag, this actually is a version that militaries around the world still kind of use now, called the Miles system. Now, if you look close at the Maritas, they do look like normal Maritas, but they do have like an attachment at the very end of the barrel, which I'm assuming is like the laser emitter. And also Rico and all the other recruits still do have their, they have uniforms on, but they also have receivers on them as well too. The Miles system in real life is similar in this sense, where they actually use real guns, but they have blanks and they use laser attachments at the very end of the guns to simulate live fire. Each recruit has a lot of sensors on them as well too, and they usually have like little things with noise on them to signal, hey, you've been hit or you're shooting and all this other stuff. So it is based in real life, but this laser, this exercise is a lot more fun because it looks like also there's tactile feedback. When you get hit, your suit like starts shorting out.
Yeah, and that's what I was at first wondering. Is it the actual laser that works like a taser that sends them into shock and they're unable to get up? And then it started to look like the harness itself is actually what's keeping people from being able to get back up to simulate dead.
Yes.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. But so in the script, because we've been talking about in the script, they had the jump boots and they already had the Marauder gear, which they didn't have in the movie. But so it seems like they were actually in the body armor while they're doing all of this, and when they got shot in the body armor shuts down. So that's how they were supposed to do it in the war games.
Yeah, that's actually how it works in the book as well too. When they're actually in the Marauder suits, as soon as they're dead, their suit falls over and they die, or the suit just stops functioning. In the book, Rico actually is using a kind of mortar launcher, grenade launcher, sets his sights for a certain thing, turns on his night vision, and launches. But something goes off, I think like a pretend tactical nuke, and it blinds him, so he gets like a really bad sunburn around his eyes because he had his night vision on really, really high. But he dies in the live fire exit, or not the live fire. He dies in the pretend in the war games, yes. So he gets shut down, and then when they take him out, he's like, "Oh man, that like really burned my eyes," and he's got like a sunburn around his eyes. But he basically won the war games by sacrificing himself in the book.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, this does look like it is a tactile feedback harness that is shutting them down, or at least giving them electrical shocks, telling them, "You need to get down. You're dead. Stop it."
Yeah.
So Rico meets up with Diz, and they're behind a wall. Their squad, part of their blue squad, because they're part of the blue team, moves up and tries to round a corner, but they get attacked by the red squad, and red squad just mows them down.
Yeah. It's Kitten that was leading the charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was.
So, one thing I noticed is when the other team is getting mowed down, so blue pushes forward, red team cuts off basically the retreat of blue team, so they start shooting them from behind.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the screen, like, Rico is just standing there. Like, he could have shot one of them.
He could have, but he's also... Yeah, actually, yeah, he is just standing there. He's just...
He's just like, all right, my team's getting mowed down. At least I'm okay.
Yeah, actually, Dizzy moves back to the wall first, and Rico is just standing there like he missed the cue or something.
Yeah, because, Diz backs away. She's like, oh, gotta get into safety. And Rico's like, meh, meh, ba-ba-da-ba.
And then a continuity error is Dizzy's again there once they get a little closer to the... when they get a closer scene of them shooting the red team. But the red team shoots them back, and they are pinned down again. And the red team is all like happy. Ha ha! Yeah, woo!
Well, it looks like Diz keeps rolling in and out of cover, which is, I guess, proper, instead of just standing out in the open. Because she goes back, and then she goes back into cover, she comes back forward, takes a couple shots, and then backs away again.
That's the type of girl to make squad leader.
Yeah. But one thing I noticed that's weird is when the lasers actually hit the barricade or whatever it is they're hiding behind of, it creates sparks.
Mm-hmm.
So the feedback isn't all just a harness.
No, it could actually be like these are lasers. Well, I mean, it could be like, yeah. What happens if it hits them in the arm or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like this actually has some force behind it. It's not just a like a light emitter that turns on the harness. Like this actually has some force behind the shot.
So maybe it is like something like that where it is it is a force feedback kind of thing, but also the lasers themselves, even if you don't get hit in the chest or anywhere that has a sensor, you're still going to feel it. You still going to know that you got shot.
Yeah. So once they start mowing them down, red team is like, laughing at the fact that they have the defensive ground on this. If you go to 3639 and actually pause it, there's a reckless shot that almost hits someone up front. Like a red team shot almost hits somebody on the red team right in the head.
Oh, yeah.
It's Breckenridge. So I guess more foreshadowing, but like that shot is kind of reckless. Like if you have your teammate kind of in the way, don't shoot. But also don't stick your head out like that.
Yeah, you need to have situational awareness. Also, you need to know where fire is coming from and not get in that line of fire.
Yeah, so right there you can see the beam just go right past his face.
Yep.
So,
but Diz and Rico are pinned down, and Dizzy just glances over at him. Hey, Rico, flip 6-3 hole. He's like, what? And she's like, do the flip 6-3 hole move, and you'll score.
Yeah, the same thing we've been doing for about maybe 2-3 years. That one move, just do it again. Huh?
He's like, cover me. And music starts. He does this nice little flip move.
It's a roll move.
I'm sorry.
He actually goes on the ground.
Yeah, he rolls, gets behind cover. Dizzy does take down at least 2 guys, then gets behind cover herself before getting barraged.
Diz actually takes on 4. I made sure I made a count on this.
Okay, I got the last 2.
I wanted to see how cool Diz was on this. Because, yeah, we see on screen 2 shots, but counting the 2 that Rico also takes down, there are, 7 people down?
Jeez.
Yeah, so she's eliminating red team to clear a path for Rico. So I think it's like right along. So it's around like 3652 to 3654, right before, or 3655, right before Rico is going to run towards position for the flip 6-3 hole. You can count how many people are on the ground, and you can see the red, and there's the 6 or 7 people already down.
Jeez.
So Diz is mowing these people down on her own.
Good for her.
And at close range, yeah. Because she's eliminating the soldiers on the left, leaving the only ones available on the right, which would be right behind Rico.
Yes, so Dizzy signals for Rico. Rico rushes and does a flip, but that's when that minute ends. Yeah.
So it's right as he's about to execute the flip 6-3 hole is when we do end this moment.
Well, he does the flip, but not the 6-3 hole.
Okay, so he does the flip.
He does the flip because I'm actually at 3700 right now, and it's just his legs. He's doing the front flip, and it's just the weapon right next to him as well too. So most of the screen is taken up by his legs and his butt.
Yeah. It purposely, well, I wouldn't say purposely, but the way it looks is he may have actually done this stunt, which is the one that he's been mentioning, like he does do his own flips. Because you see it's him, and you see him throw himself completely over, that he's going to do a flip move. Sometimes in some movies, you'll just see him kind of jump off screen, and then all of a sudden they do a perfectly executed front somersault, which the trajectory doesn't even match. But this one, it looks like he actually did this part on his own. Then next minute is going to see how well he executed this move.
Yeah, it does look like in this scene right now at this 37-minute mark that he is just doing a front flip onto like a bag or a pad or something like that to muffle or cushion his fall. He's tucking his chin as well too. But yeah, it doesn't look like he's actually going to do the complete 3-hole move. But yeah, that's where that minute ends. Do you want to say anything else about this minute at all?
No, it's actually not a whole lot happened in this minute.
a lot of action happens.
Yeah, it's action packed, but it's not a whole lot to talk about. Because it's kind of cool.
It is. It's a fun, throwback to the 90s. We get to play laser tag a little bit. I have been looking up laser places recently, and I'm thinking of like maybe taking the wife there. And if you want to go, we could definitely go. Just because this watching this movie and watching this scene over and over again has really got me jonesing to play laser tag again.
I remember the last time I played laser tag, I had so much fun. The next day I was so sore.
Oh yeah,
because I pushed myself so hard.
I mean, you do like all this like tactical wannabe stuff, and you think you look so cool, but you probably look like a fool. But it's fun as heck, man.
Oh no, I pulled a Barney. Like when I play laser tag, I'm like doing like knee slides and shooting at the same time. To those that don't know, I'm talking about Barney from How I Met Your Mother. He was a very big laser tag enthusiast. Good job on Neil Patrick Harris, making this character shine. But yeah, I was way into it. Like I'm doing like the knee drops and sliding on a knee, tactical slides, and like shooting and being super in my head bad.
See, with me, I bring myself I bring a package of doves and just John Woo it all up like crazy.
Yeah, I put on my WWDD bracelet. What would Diz do? And, and just play it up like a monster. But probably didn't look as cool.
Well, we still got the top scores, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, Johann. Where can they find you, man?
You guys can find me on Twitch at JDASHD26. It's the same as my Instagram, and my Twitter is OMG. It's Johann.
And you guys can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere, from Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, anything like that. You can also follow the show at The Roughneck Min, MIN. You can also go to our website, theroughneckminute.podbean.com, for any of our past episodes or show notes. You can also go to our Facebook group, The Roughneck Minute Billet, BILLET, to continue the conversation and talk about awesome stuff with us with all the other fans.
You can also follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and also our YouTube page. So please like and subscribe, and also rate and review us where it's possible.
Thank you so much, Johann.
You're welcome.
I've been your new host, Matthew.
I've been your other host, Johann.
And we will see you on the Bounce Troopers.